that I can reach people like yourself, that I can talk to you and I can be your next door neighbor. And so that's how I can reach people, is to say, look, I just got stuck there. I just happened to stumble across this thing, and I'm just trying to tell a story. And based upon what I know, then try to tell people what they can do about it. And, I could care less for any of the attention. I mean, I just want to try to convince people that this is stoppable and that we do have the power to do it. And any way I can do that is fine with me.
One thing I just wanted to add to that, because I think, Brian's been such an effective, we've watched him take himself on tour and then Save Darfur Coalition worked with him to continue that tour. Our hope is that the film will do the work that Brian's been shouldering by himself for the past 3 years, talking to people. And again, you're all part of that. We really did believe when we set out to make this film, Hotel Rwanda was made, sadly, years after the fact. We have the chance to educate enough people to shame China publicly. We hope this film will make a difference now. So again, we're hoping that all of you will sort of help become more of Brian's.
Go tell everyone.
Yeah, I don't even know.
We have time for a couple more? Okay.
These men who kill for pay, I'd like your take on why you think they do it. Do they have no money? Do they have no job? Do they like to kill? Is it a combination? Do they have racial hatred, or is it some other reason?
I think it's all of those together. I don't necessarily quite understand what motivates people to kill for money. That's something that I don't get. I can't explain to you what racial hatred is because I don't understand it. I don't understand how I can look out and just be like, you are less than me, you are less than me, and therefore you deserve to die. To me, that makes no sense. It just doesn't come into my head. So I can't explain that to you. The Sudanese government themselves, when this conflict started out, excuse me, they wanted to stand down this rebellion that wanted equal rights. They want to own land. They want to have electricity. They want to have education. They want to have more than 20 miles of paved roads in the area the size of Texas. They want equal rights. So they stood up. The only way that they could possibly fight back was with arms. And that's what they tried to do. Same way we decided to throw a bunch of tea up in the Boston Harbor. Okay, we said, forget it, we've had enough. And so the government of Sudan said, we're standing this down. And they rule by the iron fist, and they're making an example out of the Darfurian people for anybody else in that country that may ever possibly try to stand up. There's rumblings of a rebellion in the east. There's rumblings of rebellion in the north in the Nubian areas. There's rumblings of rebellion and a rise again from the south, because they're all rearming under the table because none of the protocols from the peace treaty have been, actually implemented. And so they wanted to make an example out of them, and so that's why they do this I'm going to wipe everybody out policy. Not just you that's fighting against me, but your family, your next door neighbor, and everybody that may possibly support you because you're the same tribe as them. And then they took these Arab militias, and they are a distinct group of Arabs within Darfur and within Sudan. They don't represent the overall population of Arabs in Darfur and Sudan. They're an extremely racist group of individuals. And it's the equivalency of taking the Ku Klux Klan and training and arming them during the Civil Rights Movement. That's exactly what they did. They took them, they armed them, they trained them, they paid them, and as soon as they could go kill everybody, then they're allowed to have their land and they can have everything from them. And so that's what they do. And they get enjoyment out of it. I heard stories of them pouring petrol on people, catching them on fire, and watching them run around. They get enjoyment out of doing this. It's something I don't quite understand.
You talk about peace process first, but if the Sudanese government is backing them, training them, it can't be with this Sudanese government, it can't be with the Bashir's government, so isn't that...
Well, I don't mean to say it first. I think all three of those need to be implemented. One can be implemented before the other, but they all need to be done, and it's best if you do them all at the same time. We're right now talking about the protection phase with this deployment of the UN troops. We should also be talking about the peace phase, and we should also be talking about the punishment phase. Well, what if they don't allow it in? I can't believe there's not a no-fly zone. I can't believe there's not a UN embargo of weapons to Sudan. There is for weapons that go to Darfur, but the Sudanese government can continue to buy any arms they want to, and then once they're in their country, then they move them around. They move them over to Darfur.